Alright, let's do this. As you can see, we have... Oops, no, don't go there. Okay, welcome to the first episode that I'm going to call the series Combo Guides. Now, I mentioned this combo before on a battle video, I believe. But I made a presentation about this combo, and yeah, hopefully this helps you guys, and let's do this. Oops. Okay, this combo is mainly focused on having many transform cards in your deck. Keep attacking with equipped cards multiple times in one turn. And in order to make this deck consistent, you'll have to run as many transform cards as possible. I put transform, but yeah. Now, let's start with the key card of the deck. Emergency Launch Decker Drum. He's a size 2 monster with 6,000 power, 4,000 defense, and 2 crit. His call cost is pay 1 gauge. When he link attacks with another superhero, choose a card in the link attack and stand it. If the card that stands is a card that you're transformed into, deal 1 damage to your opponent. This ability only activates once per turn. Now this opens up a lot of opportunities with an impact that I'm about to show you. That impact is called Emergency Trans. What this card does is you can only cast it if you're transformed and when you deal damage to your opponent. Pay 1 gauge, put a card you're transformed into the drop. Now, you might think, why would you do this at the end of the turn? But it's a counter. So you can do this after you do the second attack with drum. You switch your transform card, and then you attack again. Plus that 1 burn damage is really good. Now, let's go to some transform cards that you might want to use. There aren't a lot of transform cards that are in the sets right now, but these are the best in my opinion. Rampage Sonic is a 5/3/3 transform for 1 gauge. It's a size 2 monster. This is the best. I'm just gonna say this is the best transform card in Hero World, because the other transform cards are either really weak or cost too much. This is really strong and doesn't cost too much. So you want to run this at 4, maybe at your buddy. Now, you want some cheap transform cards to pull off this combo, because this combo could cost a lot of gauge. So 1 gauge transform, First Warrior Under. So 5/2/1 size 1. Transform for 1 gauge. A better transform card, in my opinion, is Stray Warrior Veer. Just because of that 2,000 power boost, it stops a lot of things. It stops Mama Sheba Cobalt. What else? It stops Wisp. It stops Tiger. It stops a lot of things. It's underestimated, but it's really good. It's underrated, I meant. Now, if you have a bunch of gauge... No, I made another typo. This is supposed to be 2 gauge. But if you have like a hyper energy or something, maybe you can pull off this pretty good. Actually, no, never mind. It's an act ability, so that kind of makes it bad. This card really isn't worth it in this kind of deck, but it's a 5/2/4 transform for 2 gauge, and you can pay 1 gauge. If you do, declare either monster or spell and put it the top card of your deck into the drop zone. If that card is declared card type, for this turn, this card gets double attack. You can only use it once per turn. Now, you can use this card in 2 different ways. You can use it after emergency trans, which is horrible, or for like a defensive play if you have like under equipped, or you can use it before you use emergency trans. So you do your double attack, you do your first link attack with jump and answer. Then let's just suppose you pulled off the answer question. Then you stand him again, and then since he has a double attack, he does it again. And then you can use emergency trans to do another thing. Maybe it's another answer. Who knows? That depends how you construct your deck. But yeah, really good card, but it's really situational. Next card you probably don't really want to use is Hero Hunter Saibin. So 152, so defense is 5,000. It's a lot of typos, sorry. Transform for 1 gauge. But the downside is, when this card attacks, pay 1 gauge. To pull off the combo, you need a lot of gauge. You need gauge for drum, you need gauge for trans, you need at least 1 gauge for all of your transform cards, some for 2 gauge, and you have to equip your stuff, so that's like 4 gauge. That's 5 gauge, because you have 2 transform cards and 3 gauge to pull off the main pieces of the combo. Or is that 4? I don't know. 4 or 5 gauge. And then you have this, which makes it 5 or 6 gauge. And if you transform into answer, that's 6 or 7 gauge. Even with hyper energy, that really isn't that good. But this has been the first episode of Combo Guides, and thank you for watching. Oh, and by the way, there will be a combo video every other week on Friday. So that's, yeah. So in 2 weeks, there will be another episode. But yeah, this whole thing took me about 20-30 minutes to make, even though it was only like 10 slides. But yeah, thanks for watching, and goodbye.